been here. Glad you could join me today. I thought I would take you with me on my run this morning because it's looking just so beautiful. In October, this time of year, it can look fantastic on a Sunday morning. You can't actually see it from here because of the tree line behind me, but there's mist lying in the valley. Maybe you can see it a bit, I'm not sure. And we're going on an 8k downhill run. So we're starting up high. We're going to start, let's see if I can get it in the shot. We're going to start up there. Wow, the sun is bright this morning. We're going to start up there at the top of Shuttlingsloe, which is a local nearly mountain, and we're going to head on a long loop route downhill, and we'll show you as we go. Shadow that way. So there you go, you can see the valley behind me all wreathed in mist, looking wonderful. It's starting to open out a little bit as we get higher up. And if we swing the view around, wow, beautiful, and as we swing the view around you can now see a bit more clearly where we're heading up to, the peak behind me. And it doesn't matter whatever time of day or night it seems. If the weather's good, there'll be people up there, and you can see, you probably can't see because they'll be quite tiny, but there's people up the top of Shuttlingsloe already because, well, it's worth it because of the view. It's a fantastic place to go. All right, onwards and upwards. Okay, we're fairly close to the summit here, and you can tell we've climbed quite a bit, not just because of the view behind us, but because of how much I'm huffing and puffing. Now normally at this point, if I was running this route, I wouldn't go right to the summit. Normally I would cut round to the side here and go round that way, round the edge of the peak. But today, as I'm filming it, I think we'll just do the last little ascent and we'll climb right up to the top so that we can get some nice views across the Cheshire Plain from the top. Well, so this is continuity of in here. My footage at the top failed to record last time around, so I'm adding a bit in from another run a week later. Whew. So the wind up here is quite phenomenal once you get to the top and you're exposed, but it's beautiful. We've got a kind of low level clouds. You can see behind me we're just scraping the bottom of the cloud layer, so we've got this kind of mist flying past us, and it's quite dramatic and beautiful. And you can see, wow, I mean, you can see all around. There's just enough clear air to see behind me. That way we've got over in the distance, probably the camera won't pick it up because it's too small. You've got the Cats and Fiddle Pass, which is the road over the peak, like one of the highest roads in England, goes up over the peak between Macclesfield and Buxton, and it's always the first road to get closed whenever there's snow. It's always on all the traffic reports in the winter. And then we spin a bit further round, you can't see this really because of the clouds, but behind us we've got Manchester in the distance. Over in that direction, in the far distance, you really can't see it on a day like today. You've got Liverpool, but down in the valley here you've got Jodrell Bank, which might pick up on the camera, I'm not sure, and then in the kind of middle distance you've got Macclesfield in the valley, which is where the wind, you probably can't hear anything on the mic, which is where the Cheshire Plain begins. And then behind me in this direction, behind the rising sun, you've got that's where the Peak District stretches out. And then if we turn around again, over that away, we have Staffordshire, and in that general direction we have the Roaches, which is kind of the southern end of the Peak District, which sort of ends in this dramatic set of cliff faces and hills that people quite often use as a rock climbing zone. Anything else? Well, let's have a look. We do have there's a plaque here. You sometimes get on top of these like triangulation points. There's a plaque which shows directions out to all the local towns and all the local points of interest, but I don't know that this will come out on camera very well. And it shows the north on this side, south on that side, so it shows which way we're facing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm about to head down over this edge. There's a bit of a path that heads down the hill, and I'm going to head out across the ridge here along towards Macclesfield Forest and continue my run along this valley here up towards the Cat and Fiddle Pass. So I don't get quite that far. I'll get to the end of the valley, the bottom of the valley at the other end, and then I turn around and come back along the bottom. All right, I'm going to head down the hill. Right, so I'm heading down off the edge, and then we'll be running along the flat along the ridge along to the top of Macclesfield Forest, and then we'll pick up again when we get there. So there we have it, we're down off the ridge. I can already see some other runners and walkers coming on up the hill towards me. It's a popular spot, this, because it's so beautiful. It's just an amazing place to run. So yeah, we're going to climb over this stile. We'll turn the camera off for a bit, and we'll take a run down the track here, and I'll see you at the other end. Beautiful animals. They're looking at me slightly bewildered. Young calves, very fluffy. Hello. It's a shame I haven't got a proper zoom on this camera to get a good picture of them. Beautiful. The sun is just starting to rise, everything's starting to go golden now. The valley down the bottom's going golden. It's beautiful. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but I'm far enough away from the peak now that you can see the clouds skimming along across the top, just skimming across the top of Shuttlingsloe. If I rotate around there, you can see. Let's do a wide angle shot of it all. Okay, so we've just run from the summit, which you can see behind me here, down a crazy steep path from the summit down to the flat of the ridge line, and then run along this path that you can see behind me that runs along the ridge of the hill. And now we're cutting across the top over in this direction, and this will take us across the ridge and down the other side towards Macclesfield Forest. Now as we come over the ridge, you can see the valley starting to open out, and you can see Macclesfield Forest beneath me with the mist sitting in the valleys over the reservoirs. We're heading on down that hill. Just got to show you this wooded path that we're heading down, gradually downhill, bits of ups and bits of downs, and up on one side it goes up to the peak, and then on the other side it goes down, like steeply down to the bottom of the valley. Ooh, out of breath now, so that was quite a long section of the run. So we've run all along the ridge. Shuttlingsloe's hidden at the moment over the top of this local ridge up here. Ran along a track along the side of the valley, a few ups and downs, and now we are still on the ridge line but much further along. And at this point the road splits in different directions. You can go down into Macclesfield Forest that way, or you could do, it's closed today, or you can carry on down the valley that way, or if you're cutting the route short, there's a steep road here that goes over the side of the valley and down to the bottom. We're now reaching down towards the far end of the route, the furthest point. So we're now fairly close to the bottom of the valley, and we just keep running along here. We end up down the bottom here, which will be at the far end of Wildboarclough, and you can see that's the way I've come from up the hill. Just disturbed a bunch of pheasants that were innocently camping out by the side of the road till I came past. Do you know what's really great to see? Lots of walkers, hikers, runners, cyclists, motorcyclists out today, enjoying the same thing that I'm enjoying. This amazing Peak District countryside on a glorious day in October. So here we are, this is basically the bottom of the hill. Come from that way, all the way down to the bottom, and now we've reached the end of the valley. What we basically do is a hairpin bend U-turn, and we head back along this track that goes along the bottom of the valley, following the river, along the base of the valley. So I'm making good headway along the way back of the valley floor. Now a lot of this is fairly flat, as you can see, it just stretches out in front of me, and up the hill up there is the steep road that comes down, that kind of cuts across partway through the route that's like a sort of shortcut if you don't feel like doing 8k one day and you want to do 5k instead. So that's a kind of alternative route for a shorter length, but we did the 8k one today because the weather's good, and contrary to appearances, I'm feeling fit and energetic. Alright, so we carry on.